There's been a lot of talk about protecting our right, the right to keep and bear the arms that we'll need for the fight. And while we've clung to that amendment with all of our might, other rights have been withdrawn. The right to representative democracy is done. It is money that's selecting all the candidates who run. It is money buying policies that impact everyone. And we fell for the con. Tyranny just overthrew you. Your guns no use 'cause they outdrew you. But you don't realize it, do you? The truth is now long gone. Our leaders passing laws that only benefit the rich. They take our last resources with a clever bait and switch. HMOs and banks and corporate CEOs that they enrich. And that's what's going on. Most voters favor tighter regulations on the banks and taxes for the billionaires, but they just say no thanks. 'Cause that of course is socialism. You fill in the blanks, but it's you they prey upon. Don't let party platform fool ya. Excuses for a moment while we school ya. You can't let partisanship rule ya, or the madness will go on and on and on and on. Da 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 da. Our right to privacy is gone, devices are the spies. For government surveillance, those are now the ears and eyes. They use the corporate data, no subpoenas, no surprise. And still we don't catch on. You can now be fired for expressing what you think, whether you're at work or doing dishes in your sink. Your union cannot help you, they fell prey to doublethink. They lost the marathon. You decide who's gonna rule ya. Look beyond the red and blue to find a way you can cut through the corruption that lives on. You have no right to education if among the poor, and if you try a life of debt is what you have in store. Education is related to the years you are good for, and those years are soon gone. Corporations freely do their business as monopolies. They're poisoning the planet and they do just as they please, destroying the free market while they spread like a disease as they keep marching on. No longer can we just stick to the party politics due to the fact that they are out to screw ya, and that you can count on, count on, count on, count on. Ha, 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 ha. 50 companies provided all the news in 84. Now there's only 6, it's 44, less than it was before. A media consensus now exists for every war, and the wars go on and on. Going on. We can recover from this if we wake up and get smart. It's a long, slow process, but a step is where we start. Let's ignore the menu and start choosing a la carte till the party power is gone. We're the ones who hold the power. This must be our finest hour. We're the ones we must empower, so the truth goes marching on and on and on.
How'd you like that, guys? Hey, what's up, Canada and beyond? I hope you guys are having a fabulous Saturday. Uh, that's something that we've had in the bank for a while. We don't play it very often, but it was like divine intervention or something. What we work in the real world. We're doing this real time, and when we're doing things from opposite sides of the planet, sometimes junk just gets in the way. So, on that is why I was a couple of minutes late kicking things off, and I was buying some time because I hadn't heard back from Mike yet. We were confirmed for 1 o'clock, and I was trying to communicate with him, and I was trying to buy a little time to give him a little few extra minutes to get into the show. So I thought I would refresh that little ditty for everybody because it is so poignant in where we're at today. And about halfway through it, I did get a message from Mike with his most sincere apologies that he is not going to be able to make it today. So I haven't got the details on that yet. So my most humble apologies to everybody. Mike won't be joining us, but I'm still going to introduce you guys to some of his stuff. There's some amazing work that he's done, and we'll get him back in. So we're going off the cuff now, completely derailed and sideways, but we're here, and I thank you for tuning in. Anyways, we're juggling a bunch of stuff. In case y'all hadn't noticed, things have been incredibly irregular on our platform for you guys, and it's for the better, I promise. But it's been quite a juggling act over the last couple of weeks, but we're getting there. And what I'm referring to is you guys probably are starting to see the LGM platform kind of starting to spring to life. You guys are some of the first that are seeing it. We only just did, I guess, what we call a soft launch a couple of days ago. We're putting it through the test drive process while we are bringing more content creators on board to join this coalition. So I'm going to talk about this for just a minute or two, and then I'll get into some of Mike's work over at iEarlGrey, and it's important, the work that him and John and Masha are doing over there, and I'll show you why in a couple of minutes after we go through some of what we're doing over here on Looking Glass Media Coalition. And most of you guys know is the censorship is ridiculous, and it's going to get worse. So we've been expecting that for a while. We have been working on this for a while. I've been put about a year into this concept, and it's just now coming to light. And the idea is to simplify things for you guys first and foremost, to make it easier for you guys to get to the people that like myself, and those that are far better and far bigger than what we're doing here, but a place where we can all come together in one spot, and you guys can make it easier for you guys to follow the people that you are looking for. And the idea of this is we're now able to pre-schedule shows like this, interviews, things that we're doing as content creators, and schedule them on a platform, one platform where you guys can come to and pick the guys that you want to watch and see in one place without having to bounce between platforms, between devices and all of those things. So that was kind of the idea behind this. These are kind of some of the staples that a lot of you folks will recognize and know. And there's so some of the people that are confirmed already we're building their channels into the platform. And as you can see over here on the top in the toolbar, this list is going to grow, and coming onto that list right away is the Sean Newman podcast. He's going to be taking part in this. Wendy Bell Radio Network. You guys are going to be able to plug into her work Monday to Friday, 9 Eastern to noon, right here through this platform. Who else have we got coming on board? Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson. We're setting up their channel this weekend. So you'll be able to follow Laura Lynn. So over the next couple of weeks, you guys can get the picture here of what we're doing with this. Is one place you guys can find all the people that you want to follow. So you'll see what's coming up over the next few days or a week or so. And then after the stream is over, it goes into a library mode where down below you guys can see the shows from the last week, so you can see what is current. But each time they stream, it will end up on their channel as well. So they'll develop a library just like this over on their platforms, where you can catch up to their latest and greatest work. I wouldn't be surprised to see these two amazing individuals that we had on last night setting up their channel this week as well. I've been talking to them a couple of times already since they came on the show last night. They had a fabulous time with you guys. So we streamed this through there. There was interruptions. They kicked us off a couple platforms as usual. So the only place that people actually could see the entire stream was here and on Rumble. So again, just absolutely highlighted what this was all about and why we're doing this. And for the content creators, we wanted to make this to their benefit as well. So this allows us to share and crack the censorship, the echo chambers, and each one of the content creators that is on here, when you're on their channel and you're watching their show and you want to help them out or support them, and for those that can, we put into our platform this buy them a coffee program. So you can right there on the spot, you can send them a donation. Each coffee represents $5, and you can send them, and it goes direct to the content creators. So no more PayPal, no more of that garbage. This is direct to the creator support. So that was something that was important to us, was to connect you guys directly to the guys that you want to help. And right now, this is an information war that we're in. So this is kind of what we wanted to do, something that helped everybody. And so this is what it's turning out to be. There is no cost to anybody. The neat thing about this is it's not hosted in Canada. It's not hosted in the USA, so they can't touch it. It's hosted where the rest of our secure stuff is. So they can, take down my interviews from Facebook and YouTube. They can remove all of these brilliant people from your access there, but they can't do it to us here. And the list of people that I'm working with and talking to come on board this platform is a dream come true. So bear with us as we go through the growing pains of setting this up, guys. Hey, Corey. No, this isn't an app. This is actually a platform, a standalone platform down the road. And truth is, guys, the only thing separating us from dominating the space is financial. That's truly the thing that stands between independent media, and what holds them back is not heart, it's not work, it's not creativity, it's not accuracy, it's not facts, it's none of those things. It is strictly financial handcuffs that keep the independent media from dominating the space. So this is what I've been busting my butt at over the last little while, trying to put the pieces together the best I could with what I got, with where I'm at, and it's up and running. So over the next couple of weeks, like I said, bear with us, but this is something that has been receiving an amazing response so far. You can direct click to the people that are working with us. One of the things that we recognized and wanted to identify and create a solution to as well is, it doesn't matter which part of the world you are in right now, we are all under assault from the same entities, and they have the same agenda. and we can the more that we worked together, the stronger we become, obviously, right? And that means for us to realize that these imaginary lines between us called borders really don't matter to the enemy. It's the same enemy on every side of the border. So we're having an international section in here, and so we've got people that are going to be coming on from Mexico, South America, Europe. This was kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to get Mike in here. Those guys that are working over boots on the ground in Russia right now, we're going to be getting those guys onto this platform as well, because we need to assault this, or resist this war from every side of the fence. So bear with us. This is so new. The search engines haven't picked it up yet. This has only been up for like literally a couple of days, guys. But we are super, super excited about this. We're going to get everybody that is making the biggest impacts and difference together on this, and watch these Titanics go down where they are. And over here, you'll notice on the right-hand side, Your News and Wimkin. I want to take this opportunity, I guess, to tell you a little bit about these guys and who they are and what they're doing and why it's important. This is breaking that echo chamber with the censorship and the abuse in Canada. I've been able to, over the last year, start to work with highly credible people and experienced people in America, and found that through working with those guys, they're able to reach more people than we could or I could. And these are some of the people that are doing that. Wimkin, some of you guys may have caught Jason Shepard when he came on. He was a guy just like us that saw things that were happening. His skill set happened to be development and all of that tech type stuff, and he created Wimkin a couple of years ago, and they're that app, although most people still haven't heard about it. It's an app available on the iTunes and Google. I think Google, it's the number 4 rated social media download that on the Google store, and that's in spite of being removed from those stores multiple times, having to take his fight to the Supreme Court. Jason's done all of this, and he has such a willingness to work with us. I reached out to him the other day and spoke to him about this platform that we're putting together, and he's put his tech team on providing the solutions so that we could interface Wimkin as a streaming solution to this platform as well for our content creators. And what that does, guys, is monumental, because it takes us 100% outside of the censorship reach. No more missing notifications ever, right? That's the point of this platform here. When you enroll in the notification programs on the Looking Glass site, you're going to get an email every day telling you what is coming up, right? You're not going to miss any more notifications, right? So this is things that we're constantly creating solutions, right? Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Papa Mike. That's just another example of how bad they don't want things like this to come to life. But thank you for that. This is awesome. So yes, and for people that aren't that familiar with Wimkin yet, it has everything that Facebook has except censorship and a constant bombardment of AI advertising. You know, that phenomenon where you talk to somebody in the room and next thing you know, you go to your Facebook page and you're being streamed with advertisements about the most odd thing that you just spoke about. No more of that garbage on Wimkin. It's what Facebook should have been. Right. And this is why they resist. So this is why we are investing our time and effort, everything that we have, into solidifying working relationships with these kinds of platforms. And how big is Wimkin? Well, he put in an offer to purchase on Parler. Let that sink in for a second. These are the people that want to work with us because they see the same fight in Canada. So this is, to me, very incredibly humbling and inspiring. These are the people that together we can and are and will restore things and end the insanity at some point. So, and so your news, Sam, although you haven't had a chance to meet him yet, Sam is another guy just like Jason at Wimkin, but his platform is different in that it is a replacement for the like the New York Times, New York Post, these news aggregators, and it's primarily more so in print articles, long form articles, but it's a similar concept again and an idea to the Looking Glass Media platform in that it's contributing content creators like myself. I've been writing long form articles for them for 9 months or so now. We've got a couple of contributors that through us are submitting articles through Canada or that are being published in there. And we're among the top read content on Sam's platform in the US because people want to know what's happening in Canada. People want to hear from us, but our establishment is making that next to impossible. So adapt, improvise, and overcome. That's what Canadians do, right? So here we are. Here is a whole bunch of solutions that you guys are getting kind of in depth, kind of peeling the layers back on the onion a little bit. People that know me know I don't really like talking about myself or what I'm doing that much. It's why I bring guests on so they can talk and you can listen and learn from them and all the brilliant things that they're doing. So I guess this impromptu chinwag with you guys, to borrow a term from Mike, is appropriate for today. So yeah, this is kind of the stuff that we're doing. We've got an opportunity here for patriot-friendly supporters that want to take part in what we're doing as well. But I mean, they have this is something that as patriots we answer to the people. If it isn't for you or in your best interest, I'm not interested. This isn't about making money. This is about keeping the lights on and having the resources that we need to fight back in this massive information war. So that is the only advertising you guys are going to see on here is what we need to do to keep the lights on. Case in point, Street Camo is our partnership at What's Up Canada with some patriots in Saskatchewan that do the design and maintenance work on this. And we make sure that all of our shirts and clothing merchandise is made in Canada. Some of the other accessories we cannot get in Canada, so they may come from the States. But 100% of our clothing support gear is designed in Canada, produced in Canada, and supports Canadians. So again, adapting, improvising, doing the best we can with what we got. And there's a bunch of cool new designs just went up in there last week. So this is what we've been doing here behind the scenes with us, and just really doing the hard work. And so over the next little while. Sorry, April. What called? I'm gonna go back through here and see if there's some comments, questions that I missed. If you guys have questions, now is the perfect time to fire them in there. I'll pull up some of the other things that I wanted to bring up to you guys. And looks like I got a response from Mike. Yeah, so it's going to be kind of firing from the hip for Mike sometime midweek, guys. Midweek, we'll get that rescheduled with Mike, and he's 9 hours ahead of us. So there isn't a really big window of time for us to coordinate this kind of stuff. So bear with us. I will put a notification out when Mike does. Uh, when we get that squared away, and I don't want to take away from you guys while I am doing this. Him and I will sort that out at a later date. But I do want to introduce you guys to his stream and what his content, because there's a massive amount of it, a massive amount of stuff. And what is Mike's platform to me? Mike is one of about half a dozen platforms that I follow, and over a period of time have come to trust. Mike is a British expatriate, ex-infantryman, who married a Russian bride and has been living in St. Petersburg, Russia, for quite some time. And he brings a highly objective analysis with amazing resources, because he is there. So I've been really leaning on not entirely his reporting, but his objectivity is sorely required in the situation that we're in here right now with the media wars. We know they're lying about everything, right? I mean, if there's one thing that COVID has taught us, is we don't have legacy media. That is, they are gone. They are kaput. And so everything that they spew is propaganda serving their purpose: gaslighting, money laundering, all of the evil and nefarious things that they are doing in their war, that their psychological war and torture that by definition they're waging against us. So we have to sort through the mud and find the places where we do get clean, good information, and Mike's platform is one of them that I trust. Uh, and he is just like us. We are boots on the ground patriots that just happen to have some skills, some camera skills, some digital skills, and we started to put them to work. Well, that's what Mike is, but on the other side of the planet. And I'll tell you guys, you start to dig into the truth over there, you start following him and our friend John Mark Dugan, you get it to see it real and raw. These guys are not, they're not the charade that they're telling that we get with the $6 billion that of our money that goes into the paying for our own abuse. I think they have a word for that, but. So Mike's been doing that kind of work, and him and I have been communicating for a couple of months. Well, maybe not a couple of months, but a month for sure. And I knew that they had a big trip planned, and Mike just got back from that. He went to the Donbass. He went, him and John's been there bunches and bunches of times, uh, delivering humanitarian aid. The neat thing that they have is they get to hear what the people need, and all on their own time and effort, and the community's goodwill. They fulfill those needs, and they take the risks. And John, like I said, has been doing this for a couple of years now. Mike just went over with him, and they had quite an adventure. They've shared it, they've documented it. The challenge that they have is they have so much, and there's only just, they're like me, kind of one-man armies, and they're always looking for ways to get the truth out as well. And so this was going to be a great conversation. We'll have that later on next week, but I want to just kind of point you guys out to his channel, and what I'll do is I will drop a link in the chat. Get on over there, get subscribed, get engaged, get to know Mike and his community a little bit. There's others that are going to come along through this. If you guys have ever if you guys have followed Eva Bartlett's work, we're going to work on getting her on the show as well as on the platform. We want to be able to get these people's work out to the rest of the world, I guess. For these things, they sound so far-fetched and delusional and grand, but it's the reality. I had no desire to take over the world in any manner, way, shape, form, or fashion, but we the people have to take over the world, and this is kind of how we can do it, right? Is fight them in the trenches, on the beaches, on the streets, and that battlefront is the media, is the war zone, and they're kind of pinched in the middle. Things are not going well for the crazies out there, so get informed of Mike's channel. This was the one that was supposed to be the gut punch. I don't know if you guys have heard about the peacemaker. I can't use the Russian. I'm not even going to try. Mike was supposed to tell us about that. What that is Zelensky's assassination list for journalists and enemies of the state. And Mike interviewed a 13-year-old girl over there who is on that list. And think about that. Premier or president, whatever he calls himself, Zelensky, has an assassination list, and there are 13-year-old kids on that assassination list. And this is the thing that makes me emotionally invested in this story and taking the risk. I'm not a Putin supporter. I'm not, but I'm absolutely not a Ukraine Nazi supporter of Zelensky. When I have to look at which is the lesser of two evils, to me, it is abundantly clear that Zelensky is the evil, and our government is in bed with that evil. And what is that evil doing over there? I'm just going to read one paragraph of what we're paying for over there, and go read this for yourself, guys, and tell me afterwards that what we're doing is not important, that giving these people a voice is not important. Anybody that tells me that after learning about this story, I'd like to meet you somewhere for a cup of coffee, and we would change your mind on that. So I want to read just this one paragraph for you folks. I wouldn't want to live in such a right society where only one side's opinion is allowed and they try to deprive the other side of the right to speak. It's very funny and sad to see how, for example, Mirotvorets fights with me. In the last 6 months, I gave numerous interviews to Western journalists. Have you ever seen one? Anybody? Anybody seen an interview from this girl? 7 of them ended up on the peacemaker list after interviewing me. It is a shame that YouTube is repeating the mistakes of this nationalist site by blocking my interview with Mike. It's a shame for Mike and his followers, but they can't shut our mouths anymore. We are stronger than you think. That's a 13-year-old girl living in a war zone in the Ukraine that is on an assassination list that we are funding over there. That's why I want Mike and John and Eva and Masha to have voice on our platform. I don't care what the government is saying. This is about humanity and we the people. And when I look in our recent even history, take Vietnam, for example, the Afghanistan debacle as well, those wars didn't stop because it was good government policy. Those wars stopped because the people refused to support them. Those wars stopped because the people were willing to start to sacrifice themselves here to do what was hard, not what was easy. to do what was right, not what was easy, to do what was going they were going to pay for, not what they were going to get paid for. That's what stops wars. And these guys, what they're doing in the Ukraine and in other places is repeating that cycle. And historically, the only way to stop that is when we, the people, say enough is enough, no more, in a large enough mass, they must comply. It is ultimately the highest jurisdiction in the land is the court of public opinion. And we need to bring our armies, our groups, our teams, our families, and our communities together on singular subjects. We need to remove these prefixes that say, I am this kind of Canadian or I am that kind of Canadian because of this or that or this. I'm a special kind of Canadian. No, we have to be just friggin' Canadians and say, no more war, no more World Economic Forum, no more corruption. Time for some accountability. And there are means to those ends, 100%. But we have to get it together. We have to put away our team colors, our junior team colors, and put on a major league team color, and that's Canadian. And um, by exposing what our government is engaged in, I believe will make an impact and a difference. So that was one of the big things that I wanted to share with you about what Mike is doing over there. And the other one is this. Mike and the guys over there, John, Masha, and many others are they want to deliver 1,000 gifts for Christmas in a war zone. Now you tell me that doesn't take guts. We think we're doing bold things here. We've got some lessons to learn, folks. We do. We do. We can do better. And I know we can. I know we can. I know it in my heart. And I know things are changing. Things are going to get harder before they're going to get better. That's a guarantee. But it's also a guarantee that the sooner we do better, the sooner that harder part gets through. We get through that harder part and we get to the better part. So we're not taking the easy route through all of this. And yeah, yeah, exactly, Murray. Ireland, Brazil, China, the Netherlands, Iran, um, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere is standing up, and they're paying the price for that. And we talked a little bit about this last night um, with Jody and Chris, and that would have been in the section that if you didn't catch it on Rumble or LGM, you would have missed it. Uh, but the reason, a big part of the reason why the rest of the world is doing what they're doing in resistance to all of this was triggered by what the Canadian truckers did and what that whole movement meant and what it did and what it inspired. The world was waiting for that. That wasn't the first time Canadians had done it, but Canadians didn't see how the world responded other times, but they did this time, and it changed the world. And the world follows when Canada stands up. Always. That is the most consistent historical event or historical fact about Canada is in every major conflict of the world when Canadians stood up to do what was right, not what was easy, the rest of the world followed. Prove me wrong on that, anybody. So this is our time. This is our time, and we have the tools. We are building the tools. The closer we get together to bringing our tribes and groups and communities into working together with common goal and purpose, not of the individual, but of the purpose, and we get to the better stuff. So um, this is as hard as it is. This is tough. I don't. Don't I'm sorry I can't recognize the name, but this is about thank you. Thank you for being here. This is about humanity, guys, and that's really what this is. What the end game of this is will we be slaves in a Borg matrix world, or will we be free humanity? And so guess you guys got a flyby view of, John or pardon me, Mike's stuff and, a little bit of a beh deeper behind the onion peel look of what What's Up Canada and Wayne's World has looked like over the last little while. But a lot of you are probably, Shadow Davis followers as well. And this he's been absolutely going pulling his hair out over his issues with Rumble, and it's because of LGM that he is so frustrated by Rumble. Is we're trying to get his channel plugged in on there as well. Bear with Shadow on Rumble. Help us share this out, guys. Get this. Even if it's not What's Up Canada, What's Up Canada is just one of the team players here now. So thanks for being here on this platform. But let's get as many of the other guys, the top, the ones that are proving to be the leaders that we need to be working with. We'll get them plugged in as well. Yeah, Kathy, it's been driving Shadow nuts for a couple of weeks, and it's not helping that I'm like a wet blanket on him. I've been trying to help him out with it as well. It's something bizarre that's messing him up, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Thanks, thanks, Edie. Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Michelle. It's gonna get to be a busy, busy place, and the the growth that it's already experienced in just a couple of days is phenomenal, really encouraging. It's getting some attention. It's already getting some attention. I had Lieutenant Rogers' team reached out to me last night, and so you can imagine there's going to be some collaborative work done there. They're again of the same mind. They know that they might the enemy might look at us as different people because of this border between us, the 49th parallel that supposedly separates America from Canada. Well, when it boils down to eating, sleeping, and doing what's right, well, that's the same. The border doesn't matter. And again, this is it's like reinforcements. If you ever watched the Lord of the Rings, and Gandalf comes over the hill with all of the elves and the reinforcements, that's kind of how I feel. What is happening right now in this battle space? So, yeah, it's yeah, unity through communication and cooperation, right? That's it's a win-win for everybody when you get a solution, can come together on a solution, no matter what your personal differences and might be. So fantastic stuff. Yeah, we need the warriors, right? We need the warriors front and center, and we need people to be able to access them, right? And my personal business background beforehand was in this space, and I mean, most of us can relate or understand. We go to a platform and we watch the person that we're going there to watch. We watch whatever it is that's posted this importance to us, and we tend to typically look for something on that platform again that's somebody that we might like, follow, or be interested in, and we'll probably watch a couple of different videos there, and then we have to go to a different place and try and find the people that we're looking for there, and we go through that process again. Well, this gets us all in one place. It just makes it that much easier for people to get a hold of, or to go, save time, energy, effort, and be able to plug in and connect to directly and support the people that are that they most relate to. So, yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks for listening to me drone on for like 45 minutes here. But I mean, that's Well, it is what it is. You know, that's the thing about reality streaming, reality content creating. Life gets in the way sometimes. I'm sure that you guys will just appreciate Mike that much more when we do get our opportunity to have a good discussion. As soon as I know when that we can reschedule this, you'll find it on lgm.news first. That's the first place you'll find it. And so, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, guys. Doing something more than nothing is how we ultimately at the end of the day get back to working on moving forward instead of defending ourselves every step of the way. Big point that came up in speaking with Dr. Bridle and Phillips and Lutzku the other day, and you guys are going to hear more of that. Um, Actually, on that note, maybe what I'll do is I'll just for you folks that did get a chance to tune in the other day and listen to Michael Alexander and the doctors. They referenced a uh, these are the doctors that are being abused by the uh, CPSO in Ontario, the same CPSO that says we are mentally ill because we don't like what the government wants. So this kind of precedent setting hearing happened the other day, and they kind of it was a kind of bizarre series of events that transpired, and they removed the video. And I said right away, like, this is odd. You can't make something like that disappear. It's going to turn up. And I told the doctors that I would find it. And well, guess what, guys? I found it. I did. I found it. It really wasn't as hard as I thought it might be either. But I found it, and I put it someplace where y'all can find it too. And I'll even drop a link in the chat here for you guys. And if you go to that article, thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam, at Your News. This is why we're number one read content on yournews.com, is because we do things like this and we put it where people can find it. Imagine that, right? Isn't that awesome sauce? So if you go to that link, and you can either watch the interview that they removed me from YouTube for. They got me kicked off of YouTube again. So there's that. And if you go down to the bottom, you see there part one, part two. You'll get to watch the initial hearing that the CPSO did not want the world to see after 17,000 views, and they deleted it. Apparently, these guys haven't figured out quite how the internet works yet. I mean, at $6 billion, the $6 billion media, you'd expect they'd be better at their jobs. But anyway, so um, there you go. A little treat for y'all there, if you guys caught the gist of what they were fighting and battling the other day. And again, another highlight of how awesome this is to have, working partners in fighting what we're up against. So a little icing on the cake for and something further to dig into for folks. And it's the only issue is with, when you watch those hearings, if you watch those hearings, they're on a platform called Brighteon, which the Silicon Valley gods really don't like either. So, it's gonna be impossible for you to share those links. Facebook won't allow those links. Most of the platforms won't allow those links because that platform is owned by, I think, Health Ranger Mike Adams. So, he's kind of like the old Elon. They disliked him before they disliked Elon. That's where it's at. You can catch up to date on some of the things the government is, or not the government, the pharma cabal is trying to keep hidden from you, the people, and because they know what you once you guys know, you guys just are kind of like incessant, and that's what we need to be, like dogs with a bone, right? Become that 300-pound pit bull. Oh, what is this? We got spam junk. Wow, ick, ew. Oh, life in the fast lane. Reality TV, and they're back. All right, guys. Actually, I haven't had to block anybody for a while. I don't know where that garbage is coming from. If you guys see the spam, don't worry about that. I'll clean that up as soon as I'm done the live stream. All right, guys. All right. So get plugged in to where we're all going to be. Enjoy the new digs over at lgm.news and bear with us as we. Okay, good. You're not seeing it, Michelle. It's probably coming in. I don't know. Well, I'll check that out. I might have to tighten the ship on the streaming a little bit. But awesome stuff, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Saturday afternoon in frigid northern Canada. Um, I know the, I think I'm on Barry Prince's radio show tomorrow. Um, there probably won't be live commenting on directly on LGM at this point, Michelle. Good question. Honestly, that takes server power. That takes a lot of server power, and that's bucks that just aren't in the tank right now. So, I've been considering setting up a standalone funding platform for this. We're potentially getting, talking to some investors, perhaps. Um, so I don't know what it's going to take, but I'm sure that support will come at the end of the day. To me, this is about freedom, and just like Jason over at Wimkin, this is about cause and purpose, not profit. So. Uh, we'll work on doing what we can on that. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Uh, baby steps for us on this one. This is kind of unique, and it's not that it's completely unique in it, but there's bits and pieces of what came together on this that you may recognize or see similarities in other platforms like Blaze or Red Voice, where you've got content collaboration projects, but typically those are business models and they're behind paywalls and memberships, which is great. That's their business model. That's what this is all about. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to charge people for what they needed to do, which is to get a hold of the content that's on makes the difference. Right. This is literally guerrilla warfare in the digital space. So it's small groups, small actions coming together, highlighting communications and making the very most out of the least amount of resources. So we'll develop that and keep working towards all of this. Fantastic for you and much appreciated for everything that you guys do out there. Uh, Nope. I don't trust big pharmaceutical. I don't trust anybody that is involved in anything ESG, social credit system, governmental or nonprofit funding that is tied to anything nudge group, any union representative. If it has even the slightest scent of corporate anything, I'm out the door. This is 100% about parallel community, parallel society, and going back to the social agreement, the social contract, the right side up of what is right and what is wrong in our world. So we'll be plugging. There are patriot friendly companies and businesses, small businesses, mid-sized businesses. They're the ones that we want to work with moving forward, the ones that are doing stuff, Canadians doing stuff with Canadians for Canadians. We are your Huckleberry, and we are going to replace all of this insanity. And here's why this is so important for what we're doing. And I knew this a long time ago. One of the reasons why I started What's Up Canada initially was because I knew at some point, even back then already, that when the government money dries up for the propaganda army dies. And putting together something that would be what the people need when the time was right to fill that gap, fill that void, and connect people in a common space, common place. That was always something that I was looking down the road to doing. Um, but it's been a ping pong ride along the way. A lot of side swipes, a lot of lessons, a lot of speed bumps, a lot of car crashes. Is kind of like the Indianapolis, Daytona 500. But the thing about racing, my dad taught me. My dad was a huge inspiration in my life. I grew up stock car racing. My first words were not "mommy," it was "go, daddy, go" at the racetrack. And when I started racing for myself, dirt track stock cars, I got so crashed up one day, and I come into the pit. And I was pissed. I was pissed. And the old man, he just looks at me and goes, you don't get dented if you're in the back of the pack. So I'm taking my dents, but we're getting to the front of the pack and we're working our way through it. So a little family history analogy and thrown in there for your entertainment and delight. All right, guys, I love you, appreciate you, and we are back on our way to restoring Canada. And I've kind of had this new concept rolling around in my brain a little bit about it's time for a major recycling project and a repurposing of by that I mean a recycling of the institutions, governments, organizations of public sector service needs to be recycled and repurposed with our own resources into a restoration, a whole bunch of ours, into making Canada again. All right, guys, I love you all. Stay Canadian. Keep doing what you're doing, and we will make Canada again. God bless. Stay strong, and we will see you soon. And I'm going to play you out with a little ditty from our partner merchandise store, which is to me one of my favorite kinds of conversation starters and broadcasters on the street. So